If you clicked on this video, you're here for probably one of two reasons. One, you're here for me to validate your fave. You are listening for us 1, 2, maybe 3 rappers that you just want to hear me tell you that they are top tier so that you go, I knew my favorite was the best. Or you're here because you're either a new K-pop stan or veteran that just want to know who's the top of the top for girl group rappers as of 2023. Who should you be on the lookout for in terms of the best rappers in K-pop? And that's fair enough. Either way, I hope that I can answer it. However, if you are here for validation, I can promise you that there is going to be a girl on this list that is lower than you want. And if you are one of those people, I am very sorry. But I am not here to be mean. I'm here to be as real as possible because, as I mentioned up here, and all the stuff that I want to tell you, make sure you remember is up here, this is unbiased. I made this list with my subscribers that tried their best to make sure I wasn't just putting my favorites at the top, that I was actually genuinely listening to the flow, the rhymes, the delivery, the lyrics, and actually paying attention to how they create the raps, how they structure the raps, if they write the raps, putting all of this into the tier list when we're considering who is the best girl group rapper of 2023. Now, this is going to be one super long video where I go into detail about most of these girls on this list, so I have timestamps down here, and it's taken a lot of work to make these timestamps for you guys, so I hope you enjoyed to find the rappers that you care about the most. Maybe you'll find one that you want to just like, hey, why is this person so high? And you click on them and you learn a new rapper, or maybe you find one that's super low and you're like, why is this person so low? You click on them and find a new group you love. I don't know, but they're there for you to take advantage of. So please take advantage of those timestamps. And yeah, finally, as you can see here, these are my Patreons, and I could not be making this video without them. YouTube is not going to pay me anything because I'm going to be showing you guys a bunch of examples of why rappers are where they are. That's just how it is. And because of that, this is like a lot of time to make, and I would not be able to do this without the Patreon. So if you have the means to support me, you can do it for just $2 on Patreon. You get VODs, and you also get to watch my videos a day early. Or if you have a little more money that you can spare, and please only do it if you could spare it. You can watch my reactions and stuff for like $5 a month that are all uploaded to Patreon and everything. However, if you are a broke college student or something like that, like I was just a few years ago, I'm more than happy if you just join our Discord server. I would really appreciate that. And just join our community. It's filled with non-toxic K-pop fans, and I'm so proud I can say that. So yeah, just shout out to my Patreons. I am so grateful for them to be able to do this and make these videos possible for you guys. So with that being said, I think we could jump into these tiers. I'm going to be going in order of top to bottom the best I can. I kind of fucked this up a little bit. I had all the rappers at the bottom of the list ordered so I could just drag them up and put them where they go. And then I hit presentation mode and fucked everything up. So now I'm going to be looking at a picture I have of it. And please bear with me when I'm doing that. Again, I'm going to be sharing examples. I'm going to be going into detail. And if you have an argument of why someone should be higher, you can make it down in the comments below. But please hear out my argument on the video before you get angry about seeing their placement. And I hope you guys don't get angry. I'm going to be trying as nice as possible. I want to talk about the positives of these rappers if I can. I hope I don't come off too negative about any other rapper. If I do, it's because I think most people expect them to be higher than they are. And that's just how it ended up being. So I think that's everything I need to say in the beginning of this video before we get started. There is a boy group version. That should be in the pinned comment. It should be coming out the same time as this video if you want to check that out. And then finally, the boy group tiers are the same as the girl group tiers. Let me show you. So, also forgive my coughing. I'm still getting over a cold, so I'm going to be doing that a little bit. But here's the tier list. All these tiers are the same tiers of the boy group. So anyone in tier 1 is going to be the same tiers as the tier 1 of the boy groups. It's just a different tier list that's only looking at the girls. Anyone in tier 6 is going to be the same tier as the boy group tier 6. That's how it works. Now let me explain these tiers so that it makes sense to you. First, we have the mommy tier. Obviously, Ryujin is not the top tier of K-pop girl group rapping, but she is mommy, so she gets to be at the top. That's just how this works. I don't make the rules, but yes, she is at the top because she is mommy, but she is not the best rapper in K-pop, but she is mommy, so she gets to be What am I doing with my life? Anyways, I can't believe I was talked into a mommy tier by my Twitch chat. Anyways, we got Ryujin in the mommy tier. Then we have tier 1. These are the top of the top rappers of K-pop. Think Zico, think Suga, think Changbin, Bobby, B.I., all these types of rappers when you think of like the best of K-pop. That's what tier 1 is. That's the top tier of K-pop. Tier 2, for the girl group version, this is the top tier of girl group rapping for the most part. This is where most of your popular, girl group rappers that everyone call the best of the girl group rappers are going to be. So this is basically the top tier of girl group rapping for this list. Tier 3 is kind of like the second to top tier. They're not like the top peak of girl group rapping, but they are very good. They write their own music. They write their own raps. They put effort into their rapping, and it usually comes out really good. They can use different concepts. A lot of them can rap really effectively on cute concepts without making it stereotypical. A lot of them have this very unique writing style, have a unique delivery to it, and show a passion for rapping. That's what Tier 3 is. They might not be top of the top for girl groups, but they are really good at what they do. Tier 3.5 is the same as Tier 3, except they don't write their own raps. I did not feel comfortable putting some rappers that, especially in girl groups that don't write their own raps, at the same level as rappers that do, because at the end of the day, we just don't know if they wrote their own raps, how good they would be. We could see that they have the talent of doing more maybe complex raps, complex rhyme schemes and stuff from what stuff that they've been given, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they would write that or have the capabilities of writing that. So if they don't write the majority of the raps, the majority and confirmed majority of the raps, but they would be higher than tier 4, they go tier 3.5. Then we have tier 4. These are usually the idol rappers, and this is like the peak of idol rappers. Rappers that, you know, they can give us like a ooh every once in a while type of reaction, and maybe have a 1 or 2 raps where they just go off. But for the most part, they're usually just filler raps that most of the time it's kind of like, that's cool. Yeah, that type of rapping is tier 4. Tier 5 is the low of the low. They are real idol rappers. They have a rap position and they are meant to be there to rap, but that's just their job. They're just there to rap, and they don't put, I don't want to say effort. It's not that they don't put effort in, but it's definitely, there's a difference between tier 4 and tier 5 of tier 4 has a little more expertise in rap, even if it's not something that they are extremely I don't want punctual. Is that the right word? I don't know. Basically, tier 5 is like the lower version of tier 4, but it's like a separation of those two. And then finally, there's tier 6, and these are basically vocalists. They either have a rapping role or they rap on the side a little bit. But at the end of the day, they're a vocalist in the group. They're a singer. What you gonna do? So they're still on this list because of rapper roles. So let's dive into this. We're gonna work from top to bottom. I think let's go. I just messed everything up again. No, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. I'm getting this up. Perfect. Okay, I got it up. Here we go. We're going to start off with tier 1. I have my reference on the side here. So let's dive into this. And we're going to start off with tier 1 is the only female rapper in tier 1 in K-pop, and that is the lovely, the amazing, the one-of-a-kind Soyeon. She is the only rapper in K-pop in the girl groups that I have on tier 1. I guess I should talk about Ryujin first. Ryujin, I-DLE, is not going to be, is not tier 1. She would be down here, by the way. Somewhere in here, I don't have her organized. And all these tiers are ordered, by the way, except for tier 6. But yeah, obviously, Ryujin is mommy. I know a lot of people hype her up for her delivery, but when you dive into Ryujin's raps, there's not too much flow. It's very basic flow usually. Sometimes questionable lyrics. She doesn't usually write her own raps, and they're very standard for K-pop. So there's not too much there, but she does have a badass delivery, which says a lot and keeps her out of tier 5. So that's why she ends up being in tier 4. Now let's dive into the list. And we're starting off with Soyeon. Let me give some examples for Soyeon, and here's a great example. This came out last year. I'm going to use this as the example, even though this came out in 2021 instead of 2022. Just that alone, she has wordplay, she has fun lyrics, and she has a more, what I made a video on this like a year ago, more of a K-hip-hop style flow, wherever my video is on here. It's somewhere. Here it is. She pulled out a more K-hip-hop style flow. It is this like swingy almost, but it's more of a choppy triplet type of flow, which is really cool. But then she also, some famous stuff that a lot of Soyeon stans love to point out. She has Bad Bitch Number, where she even throws in a 5/4 measure onto here. Here's a 5/4 measure for Soyeon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. She throws in a 5/4 measure into her rap. What other girl group has not only written their own raps and produced their own song, but put a 5/4 measure into their rap that they rapped over? No one. No other girl group idol rapper. And that is why I have Soyeon on the only one as tier 1. Because she does stuff that other girl group rappers just don't do. It's like, yeah, sure, there's some girl group rappers that have really good deliveries. Some of them have really cool flows. But no one does what Soyeon does when she's pushing her boundaries. She pushes the music theory that she could possibly do. This year specifically, she has Dark X-File. A great example of an amazing constructed flow where she is going between a shuffle or a straight 16th and a shuffle. No, normally you'd be like, okay, that's so what? She's going da 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 da. I'ma go to the store and I'ma see into a shuffle into the da. I'ma go into the store da 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 da. Right? Normally it's just like a straight to a shuffle to a straight. That's fine. But no, I made a video on this too. She is going from the shuffle to the straight and back and forth, and she's doing shuffle straight multiple times in the same measure. So then it ends up looking this like super chaotic mess, which I'll show you right after I play this. So it starts off with the shuffle, right? And then she's throwing in these straight parts, which give this really weird flow. Into a straight. So it's this really weird relationship between a straight flow and here's the transcription of the flow. It's this really weird relationship between a type of shuffle, which I have written as triplets here. She's going back and forth between these two types of flows, and it is crazy. I've never seen anyone do this. Not even boys do this in rapping, which gets her tier 1, pushing the boundaries that, you know, not only do other girl groups not even do female-wise, but some boy groups in tier 1, their rappers don't even do this. She's on par with people pushing the boundaries. Hanse of Victon pushes the boundaries of flow. Bobby pushes boundaries of flow and rhyme scheme. Changbin, Jongsub of P1 Harmony, all of these people who are like creating these new theories in flow and rap and K-pop. It's crazy, and she gets to be tier 1. And she is the only K-pop rapper that's a girl group in tier 1. Because no one else is doing that. No one in tier 2 is doing that. And it's as simple as that. So if you have an argument as to why someone else should be tier 1, I'd love to hear it. But I just, all the rapping I've listened to, I've just never heard anyone doing what Soyeon is doing. So that's been plenty of time on Soyeon. Hopefully I've at least convinced you if you don't like Soyeon. By the way, it's fine if you don't like Soyeon. You don't have to like her subjectively. Like if you don't like her voice, that's perfectly fine. If you don't think she has a good rapping voice, sure, she's not for you. But you have to admit, she's fucking good at what she does. Let's move on to tier 2. And we're going to start off with the Maniac. Is Maniac the right word? Probably not. But I need to find her first. Hold on. We've got Yezi of Fiestar. If I could find out where Fiestar is. Jesus. I guess she's solo now. I don't think she's in solo, though. I think it's still Fiestar. Yeah, Fiestar. Yezi of Fiestar. Yezi is a fucking badass. And you want to hear what she's released this year that keeps her up at number 2 overall of all the girl group, of all the female rappers of K-pop? It's this. And if you haven't heard this, I'm about to bless your ears with some badass rapping.
Fuck you, don't judge me. Fuck your ID. Fuck your IP 덕분에 나온 verse but no thanks to 내 팬들과 널 욕지는 말았어야지 너가 원하던 거잖아 받아야겠다 관심 밑줄 치고 별까지 달아 red line.
She has one of the best deliveries of all female K-pop rappers. Easily. Into a whisper rap. Oh, and then that flow right there. Yezi has some crazy deliveries, has some crazy stage persona that I call on par with 21 CL's. Like, I mean, CL's the queen of being a badass, like the baddest female, you know? She's like the queen of that, right? And everyone knows her for that. Yezi's on par with her. Yezi has some of the best stage presence, but then she also delivers with this rap. She delivers with the flow. She delivers. She's covered almost perfectly. It wasn't perfect, but almost perfectly the second fastest K-pop rapper ever. And if you want to see that too, which is why Yezi is technically a faster rapper than Soyeon. Check this out. Then again, speed doesn't matter, but if you are able to articulate flows in the same way that you can doing it this fast, it's crazy. Here, watch this. she drags a little breath control, lacks a little bit there, but that's crazy. This is one of like probably one of the most difficult raps that cover accurately, and she just did it so well. Yezi is crazy, and she's crazy underrated. Now, the only reason to keep her out of tier 1 is she doesn't tend to push the envelope as much as Soyeon does and other boy group rappers of tier 1. She doesn't tend to like create new areas, but she is nearly a master at what she does do. Plus the fact that she tends to want to focus in singing, and I feel like a lot of her drive for rapping just comes from the fact that that's her most successful aspect of her, and she is not as successful as a singer. So she feels like she has to rap in order to keep, the support for her music, which is a shame because she is a beautiful singer as well. But that also holds her back a little bit, where it's like on her solo projects outside of No Name and Crazy Dog and Cider and a few other ones that she wants to be a singer at the end of the day. How much weight that holds for you is up to the person, but I just can't put her in tier 1 knowing all those facts as well. But for what she does do, she's nearly a master at it and is crazy good, crazy underrated. But let's move on to number 2 in tier 2, which is a veteran in K-pop. We've got the girl, I-DLE of EXID. Now, let me find her on here while I talk about her. I-DLE of EXID is just what I said about Yezi for being the master. I-DLE is just with her right there. Now, I-DLE has a few other shortcomings that I don't think Yezi has that have her a little bit slower, but she is so good at doing slow flow. She is so good at pushing the envelope with rapping like this very powerful, slower cadence to her raps as well. But she does have some like, slightly faster ones that are pretty good. You look at stuff like LIE from EXID, she has a wonderful rap in there. And there's a few other songs in EXID too that she kind of shows her stuff, but she is one of the most consistently good rappers in the girl group scene. Every rap she does, you're getting some amazing ass raps. And I will show you the EXID's LIE. I'll show you this rap because I think this is one of her best personally. There's a few other good examples, but she also writes for the group. She also writes for the group Tribe, I'm pretty sure. I hope they got that right, or else that's embarrassing. And then you mix this delivery, rhyme scheme, and flow, and how it climaxes. Amazing spacing. Not rushing it at all either. She is so good at that, and extremely consistent rapper, gets her to number 2 in the tier 2 phase. I think everyone should appreciate I-DLE and what she's done. She is one of the best in the industry, up there with Yezi and Soyeon as well, even though I have her a tier below. Now we can move on to the next one in tier 2, and it's someone that probably most of you have never heard of unless you are a veteran Blackjack and a 21 fan, and that is Kemy of Akor. Now, Kemy's rise to fame is a diss track on Park Bom, which is a fucking badass diss track, but it ruined her career. Now, if you don't know who she is, I highly recommend looking her up. If you do not like squeaky voices, she is not for you. She has a very high-pitched, nasally voice. But man, can she fucking rap. Holy shit. And the only reason she's not in tier 1 is because she has about 9 or 8 raps in total to her name. But she's self-written all of them back before it was popular for girl groups to self-write, back in 2014, 2015. She's self-writing all of her raps. It's crazy. And it's a shame that she decided to diss track Park Bom of 21 because it ruined her career. And even though it's probably like it's such a like if you calling a diss track good, right? Like on hip hop terms, it is a good diss track. In K-pop terms, she's awful human, insulting Park Bom for stuff she struggled with. Like, yeah, but Kemy went the fuck off. I'll let you on your own if you want to look up that diss track. Go for it. It ruined her career. They all punished for it. Kemy's no longer making music, so don't give her any hate if you do love Park Bom in 21. She's out of music right now. I don't want to bring that back into her life. I'm sure she struggled with the retaliation from that. But I want to focus on what she's actually amazing at, which is her rapping. Oh, I did Kemy. What the fuck? Kemy, I'll fly. This is a solo song she self-written back 8 years ago, and this is a K-pop like song. Like it's on a K-pop album, kind of like how BTS's Cyphers were on their album, right? This flow is so complex, even I struggle transcribing it. I've been trying to make a video on this for a year, and I keep procrastinating it because I just don't want to deal with the mental fortitude of trying to transcribe the rhythm of this rap because it is so fucking mind-boggling. Listen to the rhythm of her flow. Listen to her flow and this rhythm. Again, if you don't like squeaky voices, probably not for you, as you just heard. Oh my god! I can't even make. It's crazy! The complexity in this flow is unmatched to even what Soyeon has done. Which is why she would be tier 1 if she had kept rapping and has more than just 8 raps to go off. I can't put her in tier 1 with just 8 raps in her career. But we get past this complexity part, right? And you just want some nice smooth rapping. Just riding the beat, right? Right here. Some nice clean triplet runs, some clean raps right here and everything, and you're like, oh, well, that's just a solo. No, she did this on Kemy's music. All right, Kemy, what the hell? Akor's, this is her group, Akor. She did this on Akor's music too. You want to hear what she did on Akor's music? A cute K-pop song. Cute stereotype. This is a re-upload, by the way. It had way more than 16,000 views, but they took it down because, you know, hate. Oh, the rhyme scheme? Again, all self-written. Just some crazy rhyme scheme. It's crazy. Now, obviously, again, no longer rapping and anything, no longer active. I can't give her tier 1, but the stuff that she did do when she was active back in 2014, 2015 is unmatched even today in rapping among females. She is up there with the top of the boy groups, and if she had kept rapping, I would be comfortable giving her tier 1. Unfortunately, her career was ended early because of the controversies she put herself into. So, yeah. There we go. Kemy of Akor is number 3 in tier 2. Number 4 is Moonbyul of Mamamoo. Now, again, I made this video for boy groups and I had to scrap it, and I'm doing it again because I would often talk about rappers that I think people expect to be higher in a negative light to explain why I didn't put Moonbyul in tier 1. And I'm not going to do that because Moonbyul is a wonderful rapper. And while I didn't put her in tier 1, there are many amazing things. She has amazing melodic sound to her rap. She has so many amazing features to her rapping that give her rightfully what she did, where she should be. And the amazing part is Moonbyul doesn't even want to be a rapper. She didn't want to be a rapper. She was forced into being a rapper if she wanted to debut because Mamamoo already had 3 amazing vocalists. And Moonbyul by herself is an amazing vocalist as well, as you could check out in her solos and everything. But being an amazing vocalist can definitely help you be an even better rapper. And you really hear that with Moonbyul when she actually like displays her melodic side to her rap. And you look at stuff like, especially old Mamamoo, I feel like she shined even more because modern day she's become much more of a singer with the rest of Mamamoo, where they're all really well rounded. So we go back to some old Mamamoo, like Ah-Oop back 7 years ago, right? And we check out her rap that she climaxes so well. The structure of this rap just matches the hype coming with the song to those horns that are like climaxing and the crescendoing as she's like finishing her rap. It just gives me chills every single time because it is so well structured. And you look at some other stuff Moonbyul does. She has such solid raps that really focus from her delivery and her ability to make this melodic rap sound that she does the best among female rappers. Like everyone above her doesn't do melodic rapping. Soyeon doesn't melodically rap. Yezi does not. I-DLE does not. Kemy does not. Moonbyul does. And she is easily the best in girl groups who does this. And Yeah, and as I was mentioning earlier, I know a lot of Moomoo's would put Moonbyul up here and be like, yeah, she's the best rapper in K-pop, and I completely understand why. I just can't do that. She hasn't pushed the envelope the way Soyeon does, and hasn't really left her comfort zone in melodic rapping. But what she does well, like Yezi, she has mastered it. And it's so fun to listen to her rap, and she's sometimes the highlight of Mamamoo songs, like Sleep in the Car and My Star. There's so many cool ones. So there's Moonbyul. Let's keep going, and we'll move on tier 2 and do Miss Mimi of Oh My Girl. What? I know there's a lot of people who just don't listen to Oh My Girl and be like, why is this cutesy girl group rapper this high? Hold on while I look for where Oh My Girl is. It's Mimi. There we go. Why is she this high? Bro, if you haven't heard Mimi rap, you are missing out. Like, if you only heard a few Oh My Girl songs, be like, she's just a basic girl group rapper. No, she is not. Bro. She has some of... Let me just show you stuff from this year. Because this is from last year, right? I already had her high on this list from last year. But the reason she's still up here... By the way, legacy is involved and recency bias. I'm factoring in everything if you were curious.
Let's count on 1, 2, 3. 너 가려도 보이지 않지 움직임. 뭔가 알고 있지. 너 찾아야만 끝이 나는 널
Here's an Oh My Girl song, by the way.
제가 정말 좋아하는
This is a rap in an Oh My Girl song.
많이 사랑해 주세요.
And it's like, there's often people who go like, how can you expect a lot of rappers lower on the list? How can you expect them to go off when they're in a cutesy girl group? This is a cutesy girl group. This is a cutesy song.
Yeah, to top to club, we are locked to time. 멀리 먼데 들여다보려 하는 거야. 티티키 투, 티티키 더, 똑딱딱 멈춰버리지 않아. 몇 번을 되돌려. I don't care, yeah, 뭐
The cadence, the delivery. Again, it's short. It's a girl group song. That's a cutesy song, but it's top. It's literally some of the top stuff you'll hear. And then let me find Checkmate for you guys real quick. There's one more in here I want to show, which is Checkmate. It's Twilight. Is it the first one? It might be the first one, actually. Yeah, Checkmate. Listen to this rap. This is another Oh My Girl song, but with a custom rap. 표정을 조심 저기 개무어질 표정이 한치의 자식 시선 없고는 거의 허투루 두는 법도 한적은 똑똑히 봐더니 굴레 하나의 your pieces. So much great stuff in there. And then we look at this, which he did this year, right? In this, I'm going to be pointing this out a lot for a lot of girl groups coming up. There was a show this year called Second World, where a lot of the girl group rappers went on to show off their vocals. Really stupid. They should be showing off their raps because they're not allowed to do that in their groups. They already show off their vocals in the groups. But either way, on the first episode, many of them came in rapping to show their rap skills. Woo! I am so happy because we have stuff like this from Mimi. 손에 잡히는 것들은 뭐든지 다 멀리해 너를 삼키는 시간을 봐 작지만 여기 보이는 비트 위가 숨을 쉬게 해 좁은 한숨이 가려져 보이지 않았던 burning 날 보고 있는 걸 나만 느낀 거지 Triplet run 무섭지 않게 Weki 내가 음악을 즐게 그냥 즐기면 돼 And then this part, which I think is the best part of the song. Again, self-written. Some sex tablets in there. A triplet run developing into a 16th note run. Ooh! Like, there's so many cool things Mimi does, and she writes all of her own stuff, and she's able to do this in Oh My Girl, a cutesy girl group. Everyone above her, they're doing this in groups that, like, cater to their rapping. I-DLE Soyeon produces the music. She can give herself the stuff that, you know, makes her rap shine. Yezi, badass solo rapper, gets to choose her own instrumentals, and Fiestar was like a sexier group, right? EXID, a sexy, mature group, and I-DLE helps produce to choose the songs. Kemy, Akor, there's a few cutesy raps which show off how good Kemy is as well, but most of her stuff came from badass hip-hop styles. And Moonbyul, Mamamoo is definitely not a cutesy group, and I don't think they've ever done a cutesy concept. So Mimi's like this top girl where it's like, if you're giving her a cutesy concept, she's able to do stuff. There's songs where she makes her own beat on the song. Check out Oh My Girl's Knock Knock. She's making her own beat with her voice and then rapping over top of it. They cut the instrumental and just let her do her thing. It's so cool. But yeah, that's enough about Mimi. Let's move on to Jimin, formerly of AOA. Shin Jimin, who's currently solo. Where is she at? She should be right up here. She rose in this bit for me. And the reason she rose is the show I just talked about, Second World. Let's check out VVWD. This is one of the highlights of the first episode, which Shin and Jimin went the fuck off on. One of the best raps of the second half of last year. Again, she does have a squeakier, higher-pitched voice, so if that's not your thing, which I know a lot of boy group stands especially don't like, but listen to the actual flows and rhythms that you're and rhymes that you're hearing. It's just a 16th note run, but ooh! Develop it. It's so cool. It's really so cool. And she's really showed out. And that's the one new thing she released this year, because obviously she's not in AOA anymore, and AOA's not really doing anything if they are still together. I'm not sure if they've actually officially broken up or not. But whether they have or not, she's not in AOA. She's not really releasing new music, and that's the only thing. But that's what's keeping her in this top tier, this tier 2. Woo! That was a badass song for VVWD, and she's up at the top. Not many other girl groups are doing what she's doing. So let's continue. We got Miryo of Brown Eyed Girls. Now, Miryo's one of the top rappers I am less familiar with personally. I don't know Miryo of Brown Eyed Girls too well. I know that she does write a lot of her stuff. I know that she has a nice collection of solo music as well. And some of it has some really complex flows to it. But she's one of the first people that I'm not going to actually show an example on, because I am not versed enough in her rapping to give a qualified example of. I just know from a lot of, keeping me unbiased, that she is one of the top tier rappers in K-pop, and she has a few songs that I've heard verses on where she's really showing, a lot of great control, and she's one of those second gen rappers that really made K-pop rapping and girl groups what it is that a lot of girl group rappers just have not met. And that's like a difference between boy groups of Gen 2 and girl groups of Gen 2. A lot of boy groups of Gen 2 are not as good rap-wise compared to the stuff that you're seeing nowadays released from rappers and boy groups. Girl groups-wise, there's still a lot of very viable second-gen girl groups like Miryo, who push the envelope and still haven't been met. And Miryo is one of those rappers that set that bar. I know a lot of people like to point out Yoon Mire. I think she would be Gen 1, if she even count her as an idol. I personally don't think she's K-hip-hop. But another rapper in this would be CL of 21. Another one would be that we're going to talk about soon is, if I could think of her name, I can't. There's one more. Yubin of Wonder Girls, I think. Yeah. Yubin's another one that kind of set the stage for girl group rapping, and we're finally seeing people like Soyeon and a few others push the limit, and the XG girls coming up. So it's an exciting future for girl group rappers, because there's still places to go that Miryo set for back in second gen, and hasn't been met yet by a lot of rappers. But we'll move on, and the final rapper that we have in tier 2 for girl groups is Yeeun of CLC. Now, I heard that Yeeun's re-debuting in something with Sorn and someone else, maybe? I could be wrong. It might be something else. Please correct me in the comments. I'm not 100% sure. But Yeeun is one of the most disrespected girl group rappers in K-pop. Whenever people I feel like a lot of people include her in the top, but then they kind of just forget about her, right? She's included here, and then they're just like, oh yeah, there's Yeeun up there too. And then no one really talks about her. But she has some insane shit. She really does. You could go back to CLC's debut, right? And this being such cool rhyme scheme, why do CLC? Yeah, what the fuck? I meant their debut, but let's just look at Helicopter over here. She carried Helicopter. Her rap is. Develop the rap of it. and she's really good at writing this stuff. You can look at the debut of CLC, right? Pepe, one of her best raps. Listen to this rhyme scheme. It is so fucking crazy. I still love this song. Rhyme scheme. Listen to the rhymes. Such good rhymes, and I love it. I think it says a lot about a rapper when you're able to rhyme with inside the bar. A lot of people just listen for that last rhyme. And it's on 4 or the and of 4, and then the rapper will pause and then start rapping again. But I think it says a lot more when the rapper is able to rhyme within the bar, when they're rhyming halfway through and doing multiple rhymes within the bar itself, and then like you're not even ending it. You're just rhyming, but then you keep going and running on to the next bar. You can look at a lot of Western rappers that are really good at this, like JID, I think. But yeah, that's something that Yeeun does really well too, and especially you can hear here with Pepe, which is back 7 years ago now. Jeez. But yeah, Yeeun's super, I feel, underappreciated. Maybe not underrated. I think a lot of people rate her correctly, but she's underappreciated, where a lot of people don't appreciate what she actually has done for girl group rapping and K-pop. But that's tier 2. I think these are the top tier rappers in K-pop amongst girl groups. And then this is kind of like the second tier amongst top tier rappers. Like these girls in tier 3 are all really good as well. But they're just, they're either still working on it and, on the come up, or, they were either just missing something to keep them from being top tier. But all of them are really good. And we're going to start this tier with EXID of WJSN. Now, EXID is someone that I was tempted to put into tier 2 after this year. She was also on Second World. And you look at the stuff that she did on Second World. She loved to focus in vocals. She wanted to be a singer when she debuted, and it just turned out that she couldn't. I think it was health problems keeping her from doing that. But you look at what she did on Second World with the Diamonds. Strategic delivery still. Very unique delivery. Lots of cool stuff here. Just something held me back from putting her in second tier, but she's probably one of the top of tier 3, which she's able to do in WJSN, similar to Mimi of Oh My Girl, where WJSN has had a lot of cutesy comebacks, but EXID's able to literally take these cutesy comebacks and make them her own. She's able to take the beat that's given in a cutesy comeback and manipulate it with her flow to give you something driving. And on top of that, she has solos as well where she's rapping, and you look at her thing, and I miss her so much. But you look at Eunha Kim, right? And this song with Eunha Kim and Gia. This is a few years ago now, but still, it's a nice example if you've never heard of it. Off topic, I really miss Eunha Kim. It sucks that she quit music, but man, I miss her rapping and vocals. Mainly her vocals. Khan was so good, man. Anyways, sorry. I'm off topic. Very LE-esque rap, very consistent. But so right here, it's she's showing a side there, and then you have WJSN raps, Last Sequence, where she goes the fuck off. She has a bunch of basically you can listen to almost any WJSN song, or Save Me Save You even has a nice rap from her in it. Am I gonna be able to find it right away? Probably not. There we go. So this is a nice, maybe more upbeat, mature style for WJSN, because it's more recent, right? But obviously, it's still not a hip-hop track where it really focuses on rapping, right? But listen to what EXID's able to do with this type of beat. She makes her own beat with her flow. Obviously, this one, last weekend's, I felt was a little bit short, but still, great example of her able to make the beat with her flow, which a lot of the lower tier girl group rappers can't do, and she does excellently. So yeah, we'll move on in tier 3 and move on to a new up and coming rapper, and that is BILLLIE's Moonsuwa. Now, Moonsuwa, I've been extremely disappointed in. And as much as I love BILLLIE's music, and I think BILLIE has the best, I think they have the best discography of 2022. I loved their music. The one thing they lacked for me was rapping. Even though they have amazing songs like Brave, you would check out what they did here, right? And lots of amazing vocals, lots of amazing instrumentals. Great harmonies, but like Moonsuwa's rap's kind of missing, right? There's a little rap part here. It's changed. I'm sorry, I love this song. And so obviously, like, her and Yeeun are great going back and forth and everything in that, but she's never really been able to like get a clean, concise verse in BILLIE. However, Second World saved us. She had what I would call, the judges don't agree with me because they don't know what rapping is apparently, but she had what I would call the best rap verse in this entire show. Her delivery on this rap is crazy good, and I think it's already going to be blocked from me showing Jimin and EXID earlier, so fuck it. I'm sorry if you live in Korea. This is going to get blocked because the company that has the show likes to block it if I play this in Korea. This is crazy. The delivery, man. The breath control. The flow. And then the structure of this rap climaxes it. And then there's a nice wordplay at the end with BILLIE and billionaire and everything, and millionaire. It's really cool. Best rap of that show. It's crazy good. And that's what keeps her up this high. She has so much potential, and unfortunately, the only reason she doesn't activate that potential is due to the fact that BILLIE is not a rap-heavy group. And as much as I want her to show off her rap, I love the way BILLIE's music is now. So hopefully she gets, maybe 1 or 2 songs on each album where she gets to go off, and the rest of the songs can, stay R&B like I love it from BILLIE. But she has a lot of potential, and I'm really hyped to see what she can do. And she showed us with Second World and got me hyped about her again because she's also covered some K-hip hop stuff, which is really cool. She covered Hound, I think, Boom Boom with Yeeun. They did really well in that. But let's move on to the next rapper on this list, which is Jinny of Secret Number, if I can find her. There we go. My mouse is over top of her. Jinny is Secret Number. Now, if you don't know, Jinny has like a million, okay, not a million, but she has quite a few SoundCloud releases. She loves rapping solo and making these songs outside of Secret Number. But recently, the Secret Numbers comeback from last year, Tap and Slam, those 2 songs, Jinny actually had pretty solid verses in both of them, Slam especially. But outside of that, she also has a bunch of SoundCloud stuff, which shows her potential a lot. I don't know if she has the potential to be tier 1 with Soyeon. I don't know if she has as much potential as Moonsuwa, but she's definitely an extremely strong rapper who has not reached her ceiling yet, and I love to see where she can go. Definitely search Jinny on SoundCloud or Secret Number Jinny on SoundCloud and check out some of her raps. And there's a lot of sing-rappy stuff, but also some great flows in those sing-rappy stuffs. Very Moonbyul vibey, I would say, but then her stuff in Secret Number is much more, how would I compare it? Mimi, maybe? Very much Mimi-esque. So yeah, Jinny is definitely, Jinny and Moonsuwa are 2 ex-YG rappers, both with a lot of potential because obviously, they trained in YG. But yeah, we'll have to see what they can do. And moving into tier 3 more, we have another second-gen group or member who I actually talked about earlier, which is Yubin of Wonder Girls. Where is she? There she is. Yubin of Wonder Girls is quite the decent rapper. Again, she's someone else that I'm not too familiar with outside of a few Wonder Girls songs, so I'm not going to play example for her either, like for Jinny and Miryo. And as we go on, I'm going to be playing less and less examples because, this video is getting quite long. It is already 45 minutes into it. But yeah, Yubin has quite the discography behind her in terms of Wonder Girls' raps, and considering I'm pretty sure she's written the majority of her raps as well, and she is someone else like Miryo who set a pretty high bar with second gen girl group rapping that hasn't quite been met by a lot of other, like obviously Soyeon, Yezi, Kemy, I-DLE have all met it, but like there's still quite a few girls that are going to be down here that still aren't on the level of Yubin and Miryo. It just shows how impressive they were, how before the time they were, that how strong their rapping was in second gen. That probably wasn't, it was pretty much appreciated, but it probably could have been appreciated a little bit more for the time. Let's continue on to tier 3, and the next one we have is another rookie, Yuki of Purple Kiss. I guess she's kind of coming out of rookiehood. Purple Kiss is coming into the third year, so it's not much of a rookie anymore, but Yuki is still pretty young and has a lot of potential. I'm not sure how much of it is being Japanese, that she's still working up to her progression, but a lot of the raps she's written herself in Korean, which is in her second language, is just pretty impressive, and she delivers them quite well, which is a lot of potential. The reason she's not in tier 2 is she's still, I'm seeing a kind of flat line on her improvement, on her progression. She really, when the Purple Kiss debuted and she had her pre-debut rap and everything started, she was on a skyrocketing line. But after the last comeback or two with Meme and Nerdy, she had some really iconic parts. Don't get me wrong. I love her part in Nerdy, kick and bass, click, and I love her little rap in Meme too. But I'm not sure if it's because of how they're writing it, but she's not getting the types of rap like Skip from their debut, or Cast Pearls Before Swine, like from the Zombie era comeback. So she's not getting those even B-sides anymore, which is kind of a shame. So I still have her in tier 3, going down a little bit after this year, but she's my bias in Purple Kiss. I love her parts. And Purple Kiss is one of my favorite up-and-coming girl groups, so I'd love to see what she could do, and I hope that they give her a little more bars on those B-sides in the future, because she definitely deserves it. I think she can be up here one day, but we'll have to see. And next up we have someone that probably most of you are not familiar with unless you're a Nugu stan. Here's another Nugu rapper, probably the first one since Kemy, the most Nugu since Kemy, and this is Chaelin of Fanatics. Why? She writes her own stuff and puts it on YouTube. Let me show you an example. It's quite impressive, especially for a more Nugu rapper. And I wish Fanatics would let her rap like this in actual songs. Are they still together? I'm actually not too sure. But let me just show you some of this. She self-writes all these. Rap making by Chaelin. Very good stage presence. Really good delivery too, with that very clear enunciation. It's really unrivaled, because no one else in the girl group scene, other than maybe Jinny, slightly above her, really releases their own stuff outside of the group projects. And I love that Chaelin does that. I wish the best for her and Fanatics. Definitely someone and a group that you should check out if that impressed you at all. She has another one of these two that I didn't play. Another rap making down here. Really cool. So there's Chaelin of Fanatics, and the next one in our tier 3 is going to be, let me see if I can find her. I can't find her. Hold on. Why I say Jury? Juha of Bubble X. Who? Yeah, me too. I'm like, who as well? I don't know her that well, but my chat pointed it out to me when we were making this. She's a solo right now. She used to be a duo 7 years ago, but nowadays she's a solo, and it has a really good hip hop vibe to it. Listen to this rap. So she has a lot of potential behind her. Just kind of victim to a group that never really got off the ground, and it's a shame. But, you know, she's still trying, still making music as Bubble X, even though she's by herself. Has a lot of potential behind her if she can kind of get off the ground. So we'll see. So Juha, Bubble X in tier 3 as well. She's definitely up here with Chaelin. Then we have 2 more in the tier 3 area. We have another 4th gen group, which is the group Saturday, and it's their rapper, Haneul. Can I find her in a modestly fast time? That is the question. Haneul right here. Okay. Haneul actually has a few good raps as well. Saturday raps are not it. They're lacking a bit, but she auditioned for Show Me the Money and really showed if she was allowed to show off her potential, what she would be able to do. Look how cute like the intro is, and then compare this to the actual rap. Oh! Really cool flow there. And then she also had this audition. Great delivery too. So really cool, lots of potential there from her, and unfortunately she doesn't really go off to that point in Saturday. Most of her raps are very stereotypical K-pop rapper type raps, but her writing and rapping her own Show Me the Money auditions has shown a lot of what she can do, and I really hope that we get to see more of her in the future. I guess we will see. But yeah, she has a lot of potential there. And then the final tier 3 rapper we will show is Nature of Diawings. Now, here's another one that probably a lot of people don't know, but she definitely deserves to be up here as well. I am not the expert on Nature. We have a few chatters in my Twitch stream that showed me a lot of Nature's raps. And, you know, she's up here with Haneul and Juha and Chaelin in terms of what she's writing herself and everything. It's not the best production-wise because the Diawings is such a Nugu-esque group, and they produce everything themselves and everything. So it has some work on, like, you know, the mixing and everything. But overall, as a rapper, just based purely on the rapping, Nature has everything it takes to be up here, right? Nature definitely can be up where Yeeun is and everything. We'll just see have to tell Diawings progress their sound, progress their work, and how Nature progress their rapping, because Nature's actually has some cool, not only covers, but originals that, you know, are pretty impressive. So there's Nature to finish out tier 3. Now let's get into tier 3.5, and here's what I want to start off with. Kokona, Harvey, Maya, and Jurin of XG. Now, they're in tier 3.5 because based on their cypher raps, which I'm sure we are all familiar with and I don't need a replay, their cypher raps are all crazy good. How much of their... They admitted that they helped in the writing process. We don't have credits. They aren't credited for their usual shooting star raps or any of their XG raps. But in an interview, I think Maya said that they had a say in their rapping, which makes it sound like someone else wrote it and then they get to approve it and change the stuff they don't like. So it's kind of like a 50-50. I'm not going to give them the tier 3 yet. Plus, they also admitted, the company admitted that XG is not an official K-pop group. They're an international pop group with Japanese idols that, you know, promote a lot in Korea. But I'm still going to include them because I'm sure a lot of people are curious. Because we're not sure if they write their own raps or not and how much of the raps that they do write, they are 3.5. But obviously from the ciphers, they would be up at the top of tier 3, bottom of tier 2, depending on if we get more stuff like those ciphers. I can't put them in tier 2 quite yet just based on one verse from each of them. Although Harvey and Jurin both have a really good verse in their pre-debut rap performance. So... they also have that, which would make me go, okay, Harvey might be a little bit above them. Harvey also had one of the best flows in there, even though I'm not a huge fan of her delivery personally, but Harvey is quite good, even if I don't like her delivery that much. Kokona had probably the simplest flow, being that's the only thing. She had the simplest flow, the least complex, which makes it seem like she doesn't have the chops to do a more complex flow since it's mainly triplets, but it was also the catchiest and one of my favorites. So how much does that say? I don't know, but I'm not really ordering them in XG. They are up here tier in 3.5. Obviously, they would be tier 3 at least right now based on the ciphers, and if we get more from them, they could be even higher. We'll have to see what XG can do, and hopefully we get more cipher-esque top-tier raps from them. All of them have a lot of potential, though, so we'll have to see what they can do. And I heard a rumor that Hikaru of Kepler might join XG once Kepler's contract is over, so we'll have to see if Hikaru joins XG and like kind of goes off and becomes on their level, because I know Hikaru has some pre-debut stuff, but we'll talk about her in a little bit. Next up, we have Yoojung of Weki Meki. Now, Yoojung of Weki Meki, I'm not sure how many of her raps she actually writes herself. If she does write the majority of her raps, then she would probably be around here or here. Maybe even here. But she has some quality Weki Meki raps. She has some really fun raps as well. This is another one where Weki Meki has some cutesy songs, and Yoojung is able to actually create a beat with her flow and actually build on herself and create the rap, like the way Mimi does and the way EXID does in their respective groups. However, Yoojung does a lot of sing rapping. She's probably the most melodic of these rappers besides Moonbyul. But up until Moonbyul is her. I'm just not sure how much of it she actually writes herself, because I think she wrote her own solo from this last year, which didn't feature any rapping. So I'm not sure how much of a rapper she really is. So we're leaving her in 3.5 for right now, but she does definitely deserve to be in tier 3 if she does write the majority of her raps. And then the other rappers in tier 3.5 are Jennie and Lisa of BlackPink. Now, I'm putting them together. Jennie and Lisa, whether you like it or not, are good rappers. They are good rappers. If you hate BlackPink and you think that they're shit rappers, you're wrong. Obviously, they're not the best rappers in the world, but they are quality good rappers, and I think that showed a lot on their recent album. And whether you love Shutdown and Pink Venom and everything, Jennie put on a fucking show. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure that BlackPink, as much as Blinks want to tell me that they are just discredited by YG, which is illegal, but discredited on their raps, and they're not allowed to write the raps. I know that they wrote like Say So and maybe the solo remix for Jennie and everything. I know they wrote a few of their raps, but it's not enough for me to comfortably put them in tier 3 where I normally would put them, not knowing 100% that they wrote the most of their raps. So assuming that they don't write their own raps, Jennie still showed so many cool chops in her Pink Venom rap. The rhyme scheme in there is actually really crazy. The rhyme scheme in Shutdown is pretty good too, and the flows on this new album that they did were actually really nice. They actually kind of went the fuck off. And you combine that with some of the previous stuff and Lisa's consistency in her delivery and her enunciation, and Jennie's overall more complex but more rare and like more fluctuating skill level of Jennie. I think Jennie was slightly better than Lisa at this point. Again, we will never know 100% because they don't write their own raps, or at least that is what YG wants us to think. So how accurate is this? I don't know. Everything basically beyond this point, I don't know how accurate it is because we don't know how many of these girls write their own raps. So yeah, BlackPink, Jennie, and Lisa, tier 3.5, definitely would be tier 3, at least if they wrote all their raps, they would definitely be up here, at least with Yuki. So yeah, if anyone tells you BlackPink are shit rappers, they are better than the majority of girl group rappers. Don't ever let anyone tell you that they're bad rappers, because they are not. Let's continue past Lisa now. And the final 3.5 tier girl on this list, we have Hyunbin of Tri-B. And now, if you remember, I mentioned Tri-B earlier. And that's because EXID rates Tri-B's music, and EXID rates the majority of Hyunbin's raps. I think she's written a few, maybe 3 or 4 of her own raps, but for the most part, EXID rates most of her raps, and it shows because Hyunbin has some crazy good raps in Tri-B, and that is why she's tier 3.5, because she would be towards the bottom of tier 3 with the types of raps that she does in Tri-B, but she doesn't write the majority of them, which makes her in 3.5, and that's how we get EXID here. That's how we get EXID here. That's how we get Hyunbin here, because EXID writes most of her raps. So there we go. Yeah, if you didn't know, EXID produces most of Tri-B's music and writes their music and everything. So yeah, there's 3.5. Now let's get into the tier 4. This stuff I'm much more lenient on. If you want to tell me one rapper's above another, I'm not that concerned. We're getting to a pretty big flat line in terms of skill. Hey, we still have a little bit more of a dip in this tier 4 area that a lot of people are going to be upset with me about in this next rapper, but that is okay because I can defend myself pretty well. And I'm going to have to, because last time I did this, it was not fun. Yep. CL is the top of tier 4. CL does write her own raps, and I think that's a lot of blackjacks and a lot of CL lovers in the comments right now going to be, How do you have CL below all of tier 3.5 that don't even write their own raps? How is she below Jennie and Lisa? Oh my god, Jennie and Lisa don't even write their own raps, but CL does. If you write your own raps and they're not that good, you get to be below people who rap good raps and don't write, in my opinion. Look, I'm going to give the positives a 21, and then I need to preemptively defend myself because I already know that CL's going to have a lot of fans that think that she's the #1 rapper in K-pop when she's not, and I'm going to just give you guys my argument before so that you can rebuttal it in the comments. I don't have to type the same thing like 20 times like I know I'm going to end up doing. CL has the best stage presence in K-pop. Is she the baddest rapper? Yes. Or the baddest female? Yes. She is the most badass female rapper, has some of the best attitude and stage presence you'll ever see amongst female K-pop idol rappers. She has perfected that craft and has influenced so many people, and that is why she is as high as she is. Her amount of influence and inspiration to a lot of these young girls who are in K-pop groups and wanting to come up and be rappers in K-pop groups as women, it's insane the amount of influence and inspiration CL has had as a rapper. However, at the same time, CL has probably some of the driest and most simple flows in K-pop. Her lyrics are usually always about how she is the best, or it's a love song in 21. And yeah, I can go into some lyrics and rhyme scheme, but her rhyme schemes are usually a very basic A-B-A-B or A-A-B-B-C-C-D-D type of rhyme. 1. 2, her flow is usually an eighth note flow with a few 16ths spliced in, depending on the words that she's trying to use, or very subtly, there's sometimes triplets thrown in. Sometimes. It's much more rare for CL. Lastly, CL, while she does write her own music, I feel like she does not use the beat to its most effectiveness. My biggest thing is Spicy. If you look at Spicy right here, right, and we play this, right? It's a triplet beat. The melody of this is 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, and it's meant to feel like it's a bit off because of the melody on it. It's right. And then it also goes back and forth between a 1 and or eighth, dotted eighth, 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 dotted eighth, 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 dotted eighth. It goes back and forth between that and a triplet to make it kind of feel off a bit. She doesn't play with any type of flow like that at all. One E and a 2 and 3 and a 4 in. It's extremely simple. She doesn't get creative with writing over this extremely complex beat. This beat is so cool, and she has bars like this. Excuse me, excuse you. I know it's iconic. I know it's extreme, like, excuse me, excuse you. It's very bland lyric, though. When you step back out of a CL fandom, look, it's a very bland lyric. And I don't mean to this be a CL hating segment, but I've talked to enough CL fans that I preemptively know putting CL this low and complimenting her isn't going to be enough. So I'm just trying to preemptively rebuttal. I'm really sorry if this seems like I'm just hating on her, because I'm not. She is, again, to reiterate, she is 100% the defining de facto rapper, along with Miryo and Yubin of second gen, who has created female rapping in K-pop what it is and inspired so many girls, and she's amazing for that. She has the best stage presence in K-pop. She has the best attitude for rapping in K-pop. She is crazy good at that. But outside of that, her delivery is usually the same. She has very basic flows. She has very basic rhyme schemes, and her songwriting is usually, it's not too effective for me. And I don't think that she's usually able to achieve the type of level that a lot of people want to put her at. I've never heard her push the envelope and stuff that Soyeon does music theory-wise. I've never heard her be as masterful with flow as Yezi is, or delivery as Yezi is. I've never heard her do some of the melodical raps that Moonbyul has done. There's so many things that she just hasn't gotten there to. And I can't put her higher than 4 without being able to do that. So... yeah, that's my reasoning for CL. If you are a 21 fan in CL, I open you to, share with me some stuff. I've listened to all of CL's stuff. Don't worry. You can name any song CL has done. I have listened to it already. So what I'm more interested in is for you guys to actually like show me flows I might have overlooked. Have you heard this really interesting flow where she's done this? And I might have just, listened to the song and passed over it. I think she has 1 or 2 cool rhyme schemes in a few that I've watched in her newest album. But besides that, yeah. So CL fans, if me putting her here bothers you, I am really sorry. I'm just trying to be as unbiased as possible. Please let me know though where or what examples you would use to say that she should be somewhere higher. Where would you put her, and show me the examples? And I'm open to hearing it. I definitely am. So please let me know. Hopefully this doesn't come across too mean. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be mean to CL because she does not deserve it. Again, I'm just trying to preemptively rebuttal. So, because I already know that so many CL fans are going to watch this. And last time I put her here, I know someone went off on Twitter about me doing this. And, yeah. Just trying to protect myself preemptively. But yeah, CL, amazing qualities in stage presence and attitude in rapping. Inspired so many K-pop idols, and I have the utmost respect for her for doing that. Let's move on, though, into Tier 4, because we have a lot to go through, so I need to hurry this bit up, because we are at what? We're already an hour into this, so let's zoom through the final 3 tiers. Next up in Tier 4, we have Giselle of Aespa. Giselle is someone that doesn't write her own raps in Aespa. I wish she would, but to my knowledge, she's only written sync. If she wrote more, I would consider putting her a bit higher. That is definitely one of her weaknesses. But the stuff that she has rapped, it's been quite interesting. Aespa has let her shine quite a bit in her rapping. And you look at her, especially look at her pre-debut sync. I think that is the highlight of her rapping skills. I think she has a lot of potential. And I hope that SM lets her go places, because SM does not have the best track record with rappers. They are not that good at letting rappers rap. So hopefully that changes in the upcoming songs for Aespa, and they let Giselle go off on a few of them and give her more than like 4-8 bars in a row. But yeah, Giselle, a lot of potential. Let's see if SM lets her tap into it a bit more. Next up, we have Dami of Dreamcatcher. Oh God, I already hear the gasping of insomnia watching this, guys. Okay, Dami is a great rapper. She has a lot of talent, and she has a lot of control in her voice. However, she doesn't use that control to vary her delivery, and the stuff that she's done in recent years has been a bit lacking in terms of... Kind of similar to CL, she hasn't really experimented flow-wise. She found a comfort zone after 2020 and really has stuck with it the past 2 years. I think her best thing that she has done was Reason recently, the Dreamcatcher fan song. I love her delivery in that. I hope she raps a lot more like that. It's a much more simple flow, but I love that delivery. But you look at a rap like I-DLE, and it's just like, what are you doing? I know a lot of people vibe with that, but it's not very skillful. It's very stereotypical and very simple in terms of rap compared to a lot of what the girls above her are doing. However, you can look at some of her best work, like Black or White, and see how she's up at the top of Tier 4. Black or White from that from the Scream album is really good. Also, Red Sun, that Scream album has some of her best rapping in it. You can also look at a few older things and look at what she's done with these rock heavy beats and being able to rap with this deep voice, that badass voice, and she's really come into her own as a rapper. I just need her to push the envelope a little bit more to get up higher in this tier list. So yeah, that's Dami. I do love her. I love Dreamcatcher. But the past 2 years, I don't think that's been as consistent for Dami as 2020 in previous years, where I used to have her a bit higher, but the past 2 years have been a bit rough for me listening to Dami, and I feel like she found a comfort zone and she's kind of stuck with it, except for Reason. Reason has given me hope. Her delivery in Reason is quite damn good. I hope she delivers a few more like that on the next Dreamcatcher album, whenever that may be. Whew, next up, we have Sunyu of Classy. Now, Sunyu was on Second World as well, which was a surprise for me. She was a bit raw. I hear a lot of potential in this girl. Her rap in the first episode of Second World was really had a lot of ups and downs. I felt it was really raw at times. I felt like she was kind of all over the place in her delivery, and she was kind of rough around the edges. But if she could get that polished up, she showed a lot of potential, especially writing her own verse there. There was a lot of good flows, a lot of ideas, rhyme scheme-wise, that she was going for, and I really want her to tap into that more. I think she just needs more experience, and that just comes with the fact that I think Classy's a very young rookie group, and she's going to have time to develop, and I think she's going to rise up this list quite a bit. very, very good rapping from Sunyu in Second World as well. Next, we have the other BILLIE member, and this is Yeeun. She's a very, very good backup, if you will, to Moonsuwa, who obviously is the slightly better rapper, at least slightly better rapper, but she also did a really good job covering Haneul, which shows her potential, and she's had a lot of good duet raps with Moonsuwa that we just saw in Brave, as well as a few other of their B-sides where, while Yeeun does do a lot of vocals, she does have a lot of potential in those BILLIE raps as well, and you know, she keeps working on it. I don't hear as much potential as I heard in Sunyu, but I can definitely see Yeeun, if she writes her own stuff and everything, get to the bottom of tier 3 at least. I mean, being able to cover Hound like she did in Boom Boom with Moonsuwa is impressive on its own. That's a feat in itself. Whew, next up, we have Fatu of Black Swan. Now, Fatu released a mixtape this year, and I'm very mixed on him. I think there was a lot of potential shown. Fatu has a lot of potential. However, the downsides for her are really big. Black Swan is in a mismanaged company. I think we all know that. It's like, she is like super unlucky. I mean, I guess she's lucky because she got to debut, but she's super unlucky that she debuted in a group like Black Swan, which has the track record of Rania, which is not good. And luckily, the two tracks you've had for Black Swan, she has had a little bit to be able to show herself, but it's really going to come from her drive on her own to wanting to be a legit rapper in K-pop. And it's going to be coming from releasing more mixtapes like she did this year. Now, these mixtapes, she showed some potential. She had some nice lyrics and she had some nice flow schemes in there, but she also had a lot of really dry rhyme schemes and a few dry flow scheme moments as well. There was one part where she's rhyming bruh with itself 5 times in a row, which I'm like, what? It made me question myself, but then right before, the 4 bars before that were really impressive. So I'm very mixed on Fatu. I'm like, part of me is like, oh my God, she's got that. And the other part of me is like, oh no, she doesn't. So we'll see. I could see her going down on this list next year if she doesn't release anything new. And if she does, it's kind of meh. Or I could see her going up to tier 3 if she releases another mixtape that's even better than this last one. So we'll have to see what she does. I think fate's in her hands, and we'll see what she does with odds stacked against her being in the company that she's in. So yeah, let's move on to the next one, which is IVE's Ray. Now this one I was talked into by my Twitch chat to make higher than I was. Ray I had a bit farther down on tier 4. I thought Ray was more of a lower mid tier 4 rapper. But I was talked up to making her up here because some of the stuff in IVE, like her rapping After Like, is at least decent and better than some of the other tier 4 raps that we hear. And on top of that, she does have the self-written stuff. Like, she has a self-written solo song that's unreleased that she did in 3 different languages. And she has quite a bit of potential. We'll see. I know IVE really focuses on Wonyoung and maybe another member or two. So we'll see if they let her do what she wants to do. But yeah, I totally see the potential. Excuse me. I've been like talking straight for like over an hour. So let me refresh some water real quick. Next up, we have the Craxy girl, Ua. So Ua, or Wua, is from Craxy. I don't know the Craxy rappers that well. I know Craxy as a group well. They have some really high potential rapping songs. Like Trigger had some good raps in it. I know Poison Rose was quite good. But overall, between Ua and her fellow rapper Karin, I don't know that well. The difference between them in rapping. So, because I haven't looked into the members that much. So this is a very much based heavily on placement from my Twitch chat, who I strictly was like, be unbiased. If you place them higher than they are, I'm going to come down on you like a band hammer. So hopefully they are rightfully placed. If you know Craxy well, hopefully this is right for you. But if you want to check out Craxy, I definitely recommend the song Trigger, and I recommend the song Poison Rose. Poison Rose was a blessing last year, by the way. And go check out the raps there. However, in between the two Craxy girls, we have 2 rappers. One's a singer, actually, who I placed higher than the vocalist here because when she raps, she's actually quite damn good. And that is Hwasa of Mamamoo. If I can find her on my thing. There we go. Hwasa of Mamamoo goes in between Craxies, Ua, and Karin. Obviously, she's not the best rapper in the world, but she is a fucking amazing rapper for a singer. She's probably the best singer who raps in K-pop, in my opinion. She's shown some great rhyme schemes. She doesn't really rap too much recently, and obviously she's a much better singer than rapper. But when she did rap, especially back, in the Piano Man era, the older Mamamoo era, when Moonbyul raps a lot more consistently as well, she showed out. And you can look at songs like Sleep in the Car, like I showed for Moonbyul, and Taller Than You, and she has some decent raps in there. So yeah, definitely check out, if you want a singer who's good at rapping, check out Hwasa. She is quite good. And the other idol in between Karin and Ua is Momoland's Jui. Now, wait a minute. Hold up. If you told me last year I would be putting Jui this high on this list, I'd be like, man, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why is she this high? Because she went off in Second World, okay? Second World is a blessing this year for girl group rappers. We finally got to see them go off with their own self-written verses without being held back by the company or group. And I loved it. And Jui was another one that even though she has some very stereotypical, simple-ass fucking flows and verbs? What the fuck did I just say? Raps, verses. I think I combined verses and raps. Even though she has some very simple ones in Momoland, she went off in Second World, and I was really proud to hear that from her. And I'm comfortable putting her in Tier 4 and this high in Tier 4 because of it. So let's continue. Check out Second World if you want to hear some good girl group rapping. I promise you, it will not disappoint. Moonbyul was also on there, by the way. Yubin was also on, from Wonder Girls was on there. There was quite a few girl groups, rappers on there that made a name for themselves. Whew. Next up, we have 4 Minutes Hyuna. Now, I think there are a few people that think Hyuna is like the next second coming of rappers in K-pop, and she's not. She's a singer who was told to rap, and she has some cool raps. Nothing amazing, but also quite a few decent raps, which gets her into the middle of Tier 4 for me. I feel like a lot of people do overrate her a bit, but I also feel like a lot of haters of Hyuna underrate her quite a bit. She isn't she has a few complex flows in her rap. I like her much better as the singer-dancer she is today. I think that that's where she belongs. She's not necessarily the rapper of the next coming of amazing rappers, but Hyuna does have some quality raps, and you can check out some of the 4-minute stuff like Crazy and Hate, and even some of her older solo stuff has some decent raps in terms of flow. Yeah. So there's 4 minutes, Hyuna, and the one right after her is Card's Jiu. Jiu of Card is another singer-rapper, and when she is told to rap, she's quite decent at it. And again, just go through Card's discography. Whenever you hear a female rapper, it is probably Jiu. I don't think Sumin. I think it's Soyeon. Sorry, I don't think she raps at all. I think she just only sings. But JSEF and BM are very underrated or underappreciated, at least rappers. JSEF maybe underrated, and Jiu along with them. Card's pretty looked down upon in terms of rap for some reason, but definitely all of them can shine. So there's Jiu of Card. Next up, we have another Nugu. Woohoo! We have Hi Cutie's Yoojung. If I can find where Hi Cutie is down here. Now, Yoojung, if I can find her, is up and coming. She's extremely young. Hi Cutie was a child group, and they've been around for a good 4 years now, maybe. And they were debuted as a kids group. They were all 12, 13, 14, and such. And so Yoojung has matured quite a bit since debut. And through this maturing process, she wants to be a rapper, and she's covered K-hip-hop and such. She has really improved, and you can hear it. She's coming to her own with a very unique delivery that you can hear as she matures. She has a lot of potential to be this amazing rapper, and if Hi Cutie continue to release music and she continues to practice her craft more and more, the sky's the ceiling at this point. I don't know where her ceiling is yet. She seems like she just keeps improving every single time they come back, and that's what you love seeing. And I feel like next year on this list, she's going to be even higher. Because last year on this list, I think she was a bit lower, even if I even had her on here. So I think she improves every year, and Yoojung is exciting for the future. 5th gen K-pop. Woo! 5th gen K-pop. I mean, they're that young, so it's probably going to be 5th gen K-pop when they're relevant. or more relevant, I should say. Next up, we have Minju of Akor. Now, this is the compliments. When I was showing Kemy earlier, this was the blonde girl in front of her rapping in Always. She doesn't have any insane solos like Kemy does, so I don't have her that high, and I'm pretty sure Kemy wrote most of the stuff for her. If not, if Minju did write stuff, shout out to Minju. But, yeah, I think she is a very solid rapper, and that's about it. I don't think she had like the same, if not less, amount of raps as Kemy, and none of them were even remotely close to Kemy's skill level. So I have her around here in tier 4. Next up, we have Hyunbin of Brave Girls. Here's another Gen 2 rapper who is extremely underappreciated, but at the same time, a bit overrated. Hyunbin has one of the best raps ever of a girl group. You want to hear it? I want to hear it, so I'm going to play it. This is one of the best raps ever in a girl group. It's so good that this was my favorite song of 2016 when it came out. The structure of this rap, the way she structures this, she has great timing, she has great delivery. Like, listen how this rap progresses. Goes over the bar a little bit at the end too, and it's such a long verse, and she just structures it so well to keep it interesting. It is one of the best girl group raps in K-pop, in my opinion. And we put it in one of the best raps. However, outside of that, she doesn't have anything too strong, which I can't put her that much higher. She has one of the best raps, but outside of that one rap, everything else is very average. And she didn't even write her own stuff, you know? So I don't have her that much higher than just middle of tier 4. I can't really do that to myself when her other raps are like, as much as I love old Brave, she's not even in Brave Girls anymore, by the way. She's a former member of Brave Girls, but I forgot what it was called. No, I can't remember this song. Is it this one? No, it's not that one. It was like Yesterday or something, right? Fuck, I don't remember it. I wish I could play it. That's a shame. I don't know. She has some like decent second gen stuff, but it's like nothing as impressive as that one rap. So, tier 4. Next up, we're about halfway through tier 4. We've got Beepa of Lip Service, and this is the same story as Hyunbin. Beepa has arguably an amazing rap in Lip Service called Yum Yum Yum, and it is such a well-structured rap, has some insane speed, has great enunciation on top of that speed, but outside that one rap, everything else she does is extremely boring. She has some solos that are all very sing-rappy, and there's nothing cool going on in the sing-rappy part. It's just a lot of basic stuff, and I feel like she never really developed on that that rap that we heard in Yum Yum Yum. And that's kind of like Hyunbin, where it's like, you know, they each have that one really cool rap, and then it fizzles. So I have them around the same spot. I think Hyunbin's is a little bit better than Beepa's best, so I have Hyunbin above her, but yeah, Beepa's in about the same case. And next up, we have Live of Iris. This is almost strictly for what Iris did last year. I'm pretty sure they were debuted last year, and they're brand new. And Iris had a decent rap on, or Liv had a decent rap on Iris's song last year. It was in the first half of the year. I forgot what it was. Was it like, you know? Am I remembering that correctly? Wanna Know? Was it one? Surely it wasn't Wanna Know. Maybe it was. Yeah, I think it was Wanna Know, actually. Yeah. What you wanna know? What you wanna know? 난 기회를 줬어 넌 수없이 또 넌 하루 종일 뱉어보는 거짓말 내 인내심은 바닥났어 이제 못한 듯이 우리 사이 멋을 해도 나아질 순 없어 눌러 버튼 난 보나마나 이러쿵저러쿵 It's game over 터졌어 거품. Very consistent and actually pretty good rap, but again, outside of this, not too much to show. That's kind of what we're getting at now. These are people that girls that all have one amazing or really good rap, and then we're still waiting for some more from them, or they never gave us more in their career, and their career is kind of ending, as we saw with Hyunbin and Bipa. So next up, we have the other Tri-B rapper of Soyeon. Again, similar to Hyunbin, she doesn't write her own stuff that much, but, I-DLE writes it for her, and it just so happens that, Hyunbin usually gets the more difficult raps, which is why Hyunbin's a bit higher than Soyeon. But pretty cool overall that Tri-B has two consistently good rappers. So a group to look out for if they continue to get those types of raps. Next up, we have our first Twice member, Chaelin. Now, I actually moved Chaelin up a bit after, where is she? Twice. T. I'm like TT, oh, just like TT, oh. And there it is. Okay. Next, you have Chaelin Twice. I actually moved her up a bit from where we had her before. I was really down on Chaelin, but Moonlight Sunrise definitely showed me a little bit more. I broke that video down actually last week as I'm making this video. I broke down the flow if you want to check it out. It is very similar to Megan Thee Stallion, which is a very respectful thing to be able to do a flow similar to such a well-respected artist. And it was pretty cool what Chaelin was able to do with those 4 bars, and it's just a shame that that's really the only rap in Twice where she's done that. It's been 8 years now, and her best raps are Moonlight Sunrise, Honey, The Way You Love Me. Likey, if you want to do the entire rap line. Maybe Tuk Tuk. It's a shame that the majority of those raps that are all by herself are all from pre-debut or their first mini album. Second mini album. First mini album? No, Tuk Tuk was on the Cheer Up album. Anyways, how high can I place someone that's not improving? Where her peak is at pre-debut, and then since then it's just been... All of her raps usually have a basic, or not basic, are based in the same flow scheme, and normally don't evolve much over time. You listen to people like... who's a good example? Soyeon. Let's just compare her to Soyeon real quick. Soyeon, you listen to her raps on Unpretty Rap Star and her pre-debut solos, and then listen to her solo debut from last year or 2 years ago, whenever it was. It was 2 years ago, a year and a half as I'm making this. You hear her stuff from this year and last year are miles ahead of what she did in pre-debut. But with Chaelin, you can't say that. Chaelin, it's like her stuff in pre-debut is miles ahead of the majority of her Twice raps. Now, how much is that of JYP holding her back, JYP not letting her write herself, her being restricted by the company? I don't know. I am not in JYP. You're not in JYP. None of us can distinctively say with 100% fact what the cause is of Chaeyoung's progression. I can just look at the facts and what we've seen, and it's been 8 years, and Chaelin has Moonlight Sunrise, which is probably her best, but it's not even like the most mind-blowing thing ever. So it's like, how high can you really place her based off stuff that she did 8 years ago? It's like if you look at Bobby, right, and he does nothing since winning Show Me the Money 3. It's like, can you really say he's a top 3 rapper in K-pop? Sure, he won Show Me the Money 3, but then he's sang for the last 8 years. Does that mean he's the best rapper in K-pop? Probably not. So I factor that in a lot for Chaelin. I think she still has a lot of potential, but I can't wait forever for it. She has tons of potential. I hope she gives us stuff like Honey again. We'll have to see. Hopefully she gets a solo to show it. I keep wishing for that every year, and it never happens. But I really hope 2023 changes that, and we get a Chaelin solo. Woohoo! Let's move on to Tier 4 again. We're still in Tier 4. We got about 5 rappers left, and we have EU of Everglow. Now, EU is another person that I feel like Everglow fans are extremely high on. Everglow fans would argue to the death that EU is one of the top rappers in the industry. I disagree. I think if you step back and take an unbiased perspective, EU never has a verse longer than 4 bars. I think she's had 8 bars once, maybe. Her verses are usually 2 bars to 4 bars long. How much can you do in that time? If you're an amazing rapper, a lot. But EU normally has a very casual verses. They're very standard. There's nothing experimental. There's nothing out of her comfort zone. It's always extremely similar unless you're listening to First, which is extremely different for her. And I was really happy to hear First because I think First is one of her better raps. But yeah, I need some more variety and longer verses from EU to show me what she can do when she's structuring a rap verse together rather than just getting a few lines here and there and everything. So she's at the bottom of tier 4 for that reason. I think she could go a lot higher. We'll have to see if Everglow lets her do that. It really reminds me of what MC&D does, where they give the rappers only 4 bars, and they just have the rappers go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, 4 bars, 4 bars, 4 bars, 4 bars, 4 bars. Like, bro, just let them rap 16 bars and go to the next rapper. Like, so yeah, we'll see if Everglow lets EU rap, but until she does, I can't place her that much higher. Although she does have, like Chaeyoung, she has a lot of potential, and we'll have to see if she's given a solo to show that potential. There's screws at the bottom of my cup. It's kind of gross. Maybe I should not drink water out of here. I'm just realizing. Sorry for the... Well, I'm thirsty, so I'm going to keep drinking water out of here and hope that I don't die. Let's move on to the next rapper on this list, which is Lola of Pixie. Now, we're kind of getting to the point on this list where it's like every rapper is kind of missing a lot. And I'm sure they have a lot of potential, but we need to see more from them. And I think Lola really encapsulates that. Lola's had a few extremely decent raps. You look at Pixie's... what was it called? It wasn't their last comeback. It was last year. Addicted. You look at Lola's rap in Addicted. Let me find where Pixie is first. You look at Lola's rap in Addicted, right? And it has a lot of potential there. There's a nice swing to it. It has a cool flow, a few cool flow schemes. But then you look at her doing a freestyle. It wasn't even a freestyle. A rap live on a variety show, and she sounded so bad. I don't know what we're going to get from Lola. I need to hear more from her. And now that Moonbyul has left Pixie last summer, maybe we'll get to hear more from her. I love Pixie. I love the music they make, so hopefully they don't disband. I really want to hear what Lola's got. And we'll have to see. Maybe she's going to get some more time to shine now that she's the only rapper. The last 3 are Kep1er, NMIXX, and Lightsum. So we have Hikaru, who I'm really sad that I have to put this low, but I can't put her any higher. She has some very, you compare her to the other Kep1er rapper, Diawings, and, I think Hikaru is audibly better. I think she has a much better delivery and a much clearer pronunciation. She's up here. But she's not doing what she showed in pre-debut. I made a huge video going how excited I was for Hikaru and being like, oh my god, she has so much potential. And she does. She was rapping like it wasn't Strange Clouds. She was rapping some Western raps pre-debut and creating her own raps pre-debut, which are extremely complex and intricate and actually showing off a lot of rap chops. And she hasn't done any of that in Kep1er. Now, a lot of that's probably Kep1er not wanting her to do that. But again, as I mentioned earlier, if she joins XG, I could see her being up there with the XG girls one day. But for right now, she's down here mainly because Kep1er's holding her back. And hopefully, I hope I'm not wrong from the video I made last year, but we'll have to see what Kep1er lets her do. Following that, we have the NMIXX rapper of Jiu, who covered Stray Kids Thunderous. Is it a perfect cover? No. Is it a difficult rap? Yeah. So she covered Stray Kids Thunderous. I think she covered something else. Shows some potential. And while she hasn't really unleashed that potential in NMIXX music, maybe they will in this concept change new era coming up for them. We'll have to see. But, I have to respect the fact that she covered a difficult song. And, did pretty well at least. So, yeah. She covered a quintuplet. So she gets at least bottom of tier 4. And then Sangha of Lightsum. I'm not too familiar with Sangha. I'm trusting my community that says that she deserves to be at the bottom of tier 4 at least. So, I can't really think of any Lightsum raps off the top of my head. If you are a Lightsum fan, please let me know. I would love to hear that. But, I just trust in the fact that she should be at the bottom of tier 4. I don't have too much to say on her. I don't know her that well or her raps that well. And we'll move on to the bottom tier, tier 5. That doesn't include the vocalists tier. Which you guys can guess the majority of them for. But we'll dive into that in a minute. Let's do tier 5 real quick. We're going to start off with Miss... where is she? Hold on, where is she? Amber of FX. Now, Amber of FX, by the way, we're not doing all of these rappers. There's a lot of new good rappers on here. I just cannot know well enough to put on here yet. But Amber of FX, looking back, like at that moment, I was like, oh my God, Amber's one of the best rappers in K-pop. But when you look back, when you listen to a lot of the rappers that are out there today in 2022 and doing stuff, and you look back to 2012 and what Amber was doing, it's very basic. She is a singer at the end of the day, but I think she is still, at least deserving a tier 5. She's definitely not a tier 6 vocalist. I think that she did have quality raps. But, you're looking at a lot what Chaelin did and Beepa did. It's not Amber. Amber was not on that level in FX raps. Some really cool ones, but I don't think Amber ever hit that level. Just a consistent rapper to have that token rapper in FX is basically what I have Amber as. Next up, we have probably my most controversial take, and I am prepared to take all the heat for it because it's deserving. And I'll explain why in 2 seconds. She rhymed verified with verified this year. That's all the explanation I need. If you haven't heard this, by the way. You're really telling me that this is like a top tier lyric. That's a top tier rap lyric? No. I think Jessie is one of the most overhyped rappers. She is such a good singer, and the girl, she is such a good performer too. And she has the attitude for rapping, but it's all attitude. Like, everything I said about CL applies to Jessie, except at least CL could rap. I really don't. Every time I like something from Jessie is because she's singing. Kai Bai Bo from Microdot. Was it Microdot? Fuck. Kai Bai Bo from a few years ago. Actually, no, it was who was this? This is going to bother me. I don't feel like trying to spell Kai Bai Bo. Oh, it's KBB, yeah. Jessie, Microdot, and Dumbfounded, and lyrics. I love this song because she's singing. She has the hook. Yeah, she has a great hook voice. And you think about Zoom. What's the best part of Zoom? It's the hook. Zoom in, zoom out, zoom in. She's great at creating hooks. But I don't think as a rapper, she is up there with even K-pop idols. I think she's extremely dry. She has some of the blandest lyrics, like we just heard. She raps offbeat. You know how everyone always tries to diss idol rappers? Like, oh my God, Changbin raps offbeat. Oh my God, this rapper raps offbeat. They're so bad. Bro, I can sit here all day and rebuttal those claims and be like, well, obviously you're not factoring in this rhythm. Obviously you're forgetting that this is a rhythm. Blah, blah, blah. You don't know complex rhythm. Bro, Jessie did what is this? And yes, this is negative because I know most people don't expect Jessie to be this low. So I'm just preparing myself from the Jessie fans, which again, I'm very sorry. I'm not trying to hate on her. I'm just showing why she's tier 5. What's it called? Bang Bang. I could not remember that song for a second. She did a Bang Bang cover with I-DLE and Hyunbin, right? Great vocals. Let's listen to I-DLE real quick. Actually, no, let's listen. So here's I-DLE. Actually, no, it's Hyunbin. Great vocals. Listen to this rap from Jessie. She's dragging. There are so many parts there where she's dragging, audibly dragging off of the beat. And it is really hard for me to listen to. At least for me. I find that really difficult for me to listen to. She's tripping over her own words. She's slurring it a lot. I don't know if something happened in this performance, but it's something that stands out to me with Jessie. On top of the fact that she writes lyrics like, I don't need a blue check to be verified. Let me clarify. I've been verified. What? Like, so, yeah, that's everything I need to say on Jessie. I have more examples. I don't want to spend 20 minutes just talking about Jessie, though, and why I have her in tier 5. I think she's an extremely weak rapper who is a good vocalist and an extremely good songwriter with an amazing stage presence. I think her stage presence is out of this world with CL, but the difference being outside of her writing ability of good hooks, I don't think that her rapping ability lives up to her songwriting ability. And I wish she would concentrate on singing more. I think she's a much better vocalist. And I think she's really good at creating catchy vocal hooks. And yeah. And if you want another example, one last example. Look at the winner of Show Me the Money. Lee Young-ji, right? She's not an idol, by the way. That's not why Lee Young-ji's not on this list. People will consider Jessie an idol. Lee Young-ji is not an idol. I'm going to skip over all the male verses and everything, right? They don't matter. We aren't talking about them at all. Listen to how many different flows Youngji does, the rhyme schemes Youngji does, the clear, just.
Let's go. Blue check, you never had a bitch who spinning like me. Okay, stop playing. I'll be popping on Jennie 2-3. Got a man jet, woman, Prada tag. Mama doing your blue check. Hit him up a good tech, then I'm saying on the check to the show on the head. Hot church, I've been just trying to fight on me. Fuck you, not a pick it up a dog got. Met die, but I didn't know I got cheat. Chop with but to guess a game, get you, man. As you can see, I'm ball on the money. Keep chop with that, but that's all the go. Chop man, you can not miss a mugger. Even back up, pull up, come on, you can't call me mommy, cause I feed you money. Pocket the diggers, run it up. You can't come on money, nigga, do the night money. Don't you follow in, you don't matter. Fact that I'm not your side, but that finesse, I'm a nigga. One time to goop and
Do you hear how many different things Lee Young-ji did in that verse? It's only 16 bars too, I'm pretty sure. You know how many different flow schemes, different ideas, rhyme scheme wise she had going on in there? How many different things? And then you have Jessie. I don't need a blue check to be verified. Let me clarify. I've been verified. You've been looking at my bod. Oh, something about her bod. So, yeah, if Jessie ever gives me something that Lee Young-ji just did right there, with the amount of different flow schemes, the amount of different rhyme schemes, all packed into those 16 bars like that, then yes, I move Jessie up every day. But I based on what we've had from Jessie, her live performances, and if you think this is all just because Lee Young-ji is this live? I'm pretty sure this actually might be. No, okay, this is not live. It's just live video. But Show Me the Money 11, Young-ji. Like, she's just as good of a rapper live. All on beat. So, yeah, that's why I have Jessie here. Sorry for the negativity around Jessie. I know this is not going to be received well by Jessie fans, and I'm really sorry, but I just got to be unbiased and real here. I can't pander. So let's move on. And we have Irene of Red Velvet. I think Irene actually has quite a few decent raps. You look at Campfire, look at this recent album. I think Irene actually has a lot to show here. And it gets her to the third spot into tier 5. Obviously, she's not the best rapper in K-pop. Obviously, she should be a singer, but she's not. Or she has a rapper position in Red Velvet. But yeah, I think Irene's pretty damn good. So yeah, there we go. Irene at the third spot. I'm going to kind of breeze through this because tier 5 is going to be a lot of negativity, and I really don't want to surpass that. These are all like the lower tier rappers, if you know what I mean. That's why they're tier 5. So next up, we have Karina of Aespa. Still waiting for her to get more than 4 bars. She really hasn't even in Stamp on it. I know she had one kind of flow that a lot of people were like, oh, she rapped fast. She rapped fast. Sure, it was like 2 bars. It was okay. It gets her up towards the top of tier 5, but again, she has 4 bar raps at most. I can't put her that much higher. And she doesn't have the history Giselle does, so I have her at the top of tier 5. Then we have Yezi, who actually went way up on my list. This recent album from Red Velvet, the birthday album, Yezi like sounded a lot like Chaelin, which is a compliment because I think Chaeyoung's always been a clearly better rapper than Yezi, and I think Yezi's worked on it at least a little bit recently because she I heard some improvement, which I'm surprised about because Red Velvet's like a veteran group right now. So shout out to Yezi. Then we have Hyeju of Classy. Haven't heard as much from her as I have of Sunyu, but we'll have to see. It's Classy. Again, they're a very young group. Long way to go. Then we have Yuna of ITZY. I think Yuna has some cool flow schemes in there. I think she has some potential as well. Will ITZY ever let her reach that potential? Probably not, because I think she's much more of a pretty face for JYP rather than an actual potential future rapper. And she does have kind of an idle delivery. That's probably her weakest point, is that her delivery sounds very forced. Unlike Ryujin, which is probably why a lot of people say Ryujin is better, which she very well could be. But Ryujin has much more natural delivery than Yuna, whereas Yuna has done some more complex flows in there. So what's more important to you? That's probably who's better. But Ryujin is still mommy, so she gets to be at the top of the list. Next up, we have Dayan of Kep1er. Now, Dayan, again, pretty much the same that we've seen as Hikaru, but she doesn't have the pre-debut stuff that Hikaru has. So, yeah, she's slightly lower. If I can even find her, there she is. She's slightly lower on the list. We'll have to see if Kep1er lets her rap as well. But again, she hasn't really had anything more than 4 bars, and everything's been the exact same that Hikaru has, except Hikaru has the pre-debut stuff. So there's Dayan. Then we have Soyeon of From S9. We are getting very repetitive here. Never had more than 4 bars to my knowledge. Usually only raps 2 bars in From S9. Sometimes they're very cool 2 bars, and sometimes they're very catchy. But they're 2-bar raps, you know? So there's Soyeon. Then we have Kemy of Bulldog, who I think is very raw. And I know a lot of people who know Bulldog think that she's like the super slept-on rapper. I think she's missing quite a bit. I think she's extremely raw. I think she's extremely underdeveloped, which is just because Bulldog never really developed into a mainstream K-pop group. And if it did, maybe she would be up in tier 3. But for right now, I just, whenever I listen to her, it's very rough around the edges. The potential is there. I definitely hear the potential, but it's very rough around the edges for me. I see what she's going for, and it doesn't hit just yet, and that's a shame because I don't think Bulldog's making any more music. Then we have Asha of Everglow. I think Asha is, compared to EU, definitely the weaker link of the two. Very basic flows from Asha, and yeah. And fun fact, her name is Asha. It's pronounced Asha in Korean. I don't know why they spell it Aisha, but it's Asha. Just for the inevitable person that's going to listen to this be, I didn't know her name was Asha. You're pronouncing it wrong. It's Asha. Look at the Hangul. Anyways, yeah, she has some very basic flows, and yeah, never raps more than 4 bars. Basic flows, 4 bars. At least EU's had a few creative flows, so I have her a tier higher. Then we have one more bar of tier 5, which we have Yeeun of 4 Minute. Had some cool raps in 4 Minute. That's pretty much the extent of it. Yeah, kind of like a slightly weaker version of Amber for me, which is why she's a bit lower. Hyoyeon of SNSD. Yeah, I have Karina and I have Giselle and Irene. All higher than Hyo. Hyo is a great producer, but she's not the strongest rapper in the world. And I'm really sorry, but I've not heard an extremely impressive rap from her, ever. So that's why she's down here. Then we have Minzy of 21. Similar story. I've never heard an impressive rap from Minzy. I think she's way more of a vocalist, to be honest, but she still kind of has that rap title, so she's rapped enough. Then we have Han of Third Eye. Again, Third Eye is a very like hard-hitting girl group, but they don't rap that much. Dayan of Twice. I think this is pretty standard. Dayan's not the most versed K-pop rapper. I think she'd much rather sing than rap anyways. UG of Third Eye, slightly worse than Han in my opinion. That's just based off my knowledge of Third Eye. Whew, I don't have too much explanations for anyone down here. G1 of Cherry Bullet has 1 or 2 decent raps. Everything else is pretty much just, rapping to rap in Cherry Bullet. After her, we have Craxy Syejin. She's kind of just a singer who raps a bit. I'm going to fly through the last few of these. Baby Soul of Lovelyz had a decent rap solo recently, which was actually pretty impressive. I was not expecting that. And yeah, she's had a few decent, actually like above average raps in Lovelyz. But again, Lovelyz isn't like a rap heavy group, so she's never had that many opportunities. I'd be really cool to see how she would do in an actual, like, you know, maybe a group that does the type of music of like CLC and how she would perform. Then we have, after Baby Soul, we have 3 more. We have Kyujin of NMIX. And then we have Mia and Ann of GWSN. I think Mia is slightly stronger, but they're both relatively the same. And that's my tier 5. Everyone else is vocalists, basically. Winter of Aespa. Like, come on, she's a vocalist. These aren't even ordered. Brave Girls, Eunji, it's just a vocalist who sometimes raps. We have Bomi of A-Pink is a vocalist. Is a funny rapper at times. Gal of IVE is a vocalist. I mean, I know she has raps, but you compare her to Ray, it really just doesn't compare. So we have IVE's. And then everyone who I don't throw on here is basically just, you know, I either don't know well enough or it's just so minuscule the difference where it's like, do I even put them on here? I don't know. We have Yoojung of Brave Girls, Yuki of I-DLE, or Oogie. I'm sorry, Oogie. It's not Yuki, it's Oogie. Obviously, Minnie of I-DLE. The Dreamcatcher Girls, Suwa and Gayan. So I don't know why I say Gan. Like, there's no Y. Gayan. We have Le Seraphim's Kazuha. I'm sorry. Le Seraphim barely raps. Lovey, lovey, lovey. WWW. Iconic, but horrible rap. She's a vocalist. So let me put Kazuha in. Then we have Yeji of ITZY. She is a much better vocalist than rapper. I think everyone could pretty much agree on that. Then we have Jin Soul of Luna. While she does have a rapper position, she hits high notes. Like, come on, why does she have a rapper position, or at least used to it pre-debut? So you have Jin Soul of Luna. I love her voice though. It's a shame what's happening to Luna and what happened to Luna. Daye of Bestie. Sinbi of Vivi's down here. Seri of Dao Shabet I have down here. And just to finish this up, Ji-young of Kara is down here. Where's Kara? Nicole of Kara is down here. Yoojung of Luna as well. Where's the Luna girls? Yoonjin of Le Seraphim as well. That's an easy one. The Weekly girls and Momo and Una and Mia. Mia. Then we have Una, who we talked about earlier with EXID. She's a way better vocalist than rapper. Where's Khan? There we go. Una, Kim, and then we had the Weekly girls and Momo. So we have Momo of Twice in here as well. We have the Weekly girls of Zoa and Monday, both vocalists in here. And then Somi is on here for some reason. She gets to be in here. Alexa's on here for some reason. She should be in here as well. Joy of Red Velvet is a vocalist at this point. She had a rap in Happiness and maybe one or two other ones, but she's a vocalist. Where is Joy at? And then Jay of the Stacy Girls, Jay and Sumin. We'll see what they do in Teddy Bear coming up. Maybe they'll impress me, and I regret putting them here. But yeah, so that's everyone that I have on here. If you see your favorite down here, I just don't know them well enough, or they're too new. Like 50-50, I'm not going to rank on here yet. 4-10, they're a second-gen group or third-gen group I never listened to. And Beauty Box is still brand new. They had a few good raps in their debut. Busters is still way too new. CSR is still brand new. Not too many raps. Dream Note, I don't know well enough. Doa of Fanatics. I don't know Fanatics well enough outside of Chaelin. Favorites, Gal. Don't know well enough. Again, 50-50, not even debuted yet. So yeah, everyone on here, like High Key Yell, I guess she would be a vocalist as well. I can't remember anything on here. But yeah, for the most part, I either don't know them well enough or they're still too new to actually rank and they don't have any clear, concise raps yet to put on here. So this is the tier list for girl groups. Hopefully I wasn't too negative, especially with the CL and Jessie thing. I'm just really worried that people are just going to jump in and just start, you know nothing about rap, blah, blah, blah. So I wanted to defend myself on those two because I know that they're lower than most people would place them. I think most people put them up at least in tier 2. But I can't realistically see them being that high. So yeah, there we go. I think that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is the tier list. Look it over. We have our mommy tier of Ryujin, Soyeon in tier 1. Or tier 2 is Yezi, I-DLE, Kemy, Moonbyul, Mimi, Jimin, Miryo, Yeeun. Tier 3, EXID, Moonsu, Jinny, Yubin, Yuki, Chaelin, Juha, Haneul, and Nature. Tier 3.5, which means that they should be higher, but they don't write their own raps, or it is not confirmed if they do or not. Harvey, Jurin, Maya, Kokona, Yoojung, Jennie, Lisa, Hyunbin, and then tier 4, tier 5, and tier 6. You can see all right here. I hope this made sense. I hope my reasonings made sense. I have listened to all of... Excuse me, I'm still getting over this cold. I have listened to every single rapper you see on here at least once, and hopefully my reasonings made sense to most of you. If not, then I'm really sorry. But I mean, it is what it is. It's just my list from someone who's listened to way too much Korean rap. And yeah, this is a 2-hour video. I hope you guys enjoyed this long ass video with all these explanations. Hopefully I wasn't too mean to anyone. I really don't want that to be the case. And if I was, I am very, 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 very sorry. And yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Check out the Patreon. Check out the Discord. All the links in the description below. And I think everyone's already clicked off at this point, and no one's really watching. So, yeah, Kpop and show. The safe way, everyone. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it.